Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the lunchtime hour. We're now back with the two hosts here, back from the dead. Jose is back. He's back from down in Florida and back from being much, much healthier right now. So, welcome back, everyone.
Yeah, what's going on, Neil? And thanks to all the viewers here. Neil, appreciate you. You did a stream on Tuesday, right? Without me, did you have like a little dummy running around to pretend to be me or not?
No, I didn't. I didn't have a placeholder, but
We should
that's
get
why
like a
you're going
little.
to work twice.
We should get a little puppet of each other if we ever miss out. We can kind of like use that as a prop for the show. But yeah, Neil, I mean, I missed a lot. Past Tuesday, I'm pretty sure you talked about kind of like AMD earnings, and whatever happened last week, that already seems like forever ago, but I'm pretty sure was good and bad for semiconductor stocks. But yeah, a lot of earnings this week as well that we could discuss. So, for the viewers, if you guys have any questions, feel free to let us know.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, in the future, we might even make some Nvidia avatars for both of us. That could maybe be something interesting for future streams. But yes, I mean, since last week, there's been a couple of developments more recently. Intel is back as the king of the semiconductor industry.
This is where I think I'm somehow in a coma. I never got back from being sick. I'm coming back to Intel being up 26% in the last 5 days. So I don't know if I'm just in a coma right now, and this is part of my dream.
Yeah, no, Intel is outperforming Nvidia by quite a lot in 2025 so far. This is quite crazy. I mean, I did have my prediction that Intel will outperform this year. I didn't think it would happen already in the first 2 months, but I'll take what I can get.
Yeah. So Leo, what do you see happening here with Intel? I mean, I've seen a few things, some few rumors going around, but I would definitely love to hear what you're seeing on your end.
Yeah. So first off, I am almost break even on my Intel position, if some might believe it or not. So no more bag holding for me pretty soon. Also, I would like to say that since I bought AMD, I think I might have been the bottom one, because it has also gone up in the last couple of days from the 107s to now, what is it, 112, 113. So you can thank me. You can thank me in the chat to all the advanced money destroyer bag holders. But yeah, with Intel, what I've been reading is some positive comments from reviewers with regards to their products. I've heard, of course, comments from JD Vance talking about AI and building in America. So that's definitely benefiting a company like Intel and Intel Foundry in the United States. And then, of course, the big rumors is with regards to Intel Foundry and maybe a joint venture with TSMC,
Mm.
which, I mean, we did talk a little bit about what could happen with partnerships, with joint ventures and stuff like that. So I think that's one of the things that definitely pushes the stock higher. And then today I found out that on SemiWiki, they talked about Intel 18A, they talked about TSMC, the 2 nanometers, and it does seem, according to them, that 18A is well ahead, well ahead of Samsung, and in some cases even ahead of TSMC, which is not bad.
Yeah, yeah. So Neil, I want to say I've actually heard those rumors as well. So it seems we're following the same dark trenches in X or Reddit all over. But yeah, I mean, I think very bullish for that 18A if it's true. Outperforming Samsung seems to be something everybody's doing right now. So that Samsung is becoming the next Intel, which is pretty sad to see. The other thing is, yeah, those rumors on the wild ventures or ideas of kind of Intel Foundry and TSMC, it's interesting. Um, a lot of questions come with these rumors, like why would TSMC do something like this? Why would they want to like help out a player? Um, but obviously, with an investment, you also get the rewards of the revenue with whatever that comes. And it seems like the United States government is kind of pushing for it if the rumors are true. So you could get in the good side of the current administration, which can help you maybe not see much tariffs or stuff like that. So there's definitely a lot of reasons why TSMC might want to do it. Now, will they? And if these rumors are true, that's definitely a whole different story. Before I go on or send it back to you, I just want to show this one. Hi guys, first time I can join live. Appreciate the support, and again appreciate to everybody else watching. Um, just oops, did I do that, Neil, or was that you? Um,
No, I didn't do.
any plans on Intel? Any plans on Intel you're holding? So Neil, you own any plans with your current shares right now? At the moment, I do not hold any Intel.
I hold, and I'll keep holding. I keep holding until this thing is back on top, and then I'll have my little celebration.
Then we'll have a better view than where you're at right now, Neil.
Yeah, I mean the velvet couch is already a big step up. Maybe we'll have something better.
Let's see what we have here. So Matthew saying, "Yo." Lisa says she appreciates us.
We appreciate them as well.
Well, I appreciate. Yep. So any questions you want to tackle down? We got a nice amount of questions already, Neil. Anything you wanna tackle first?
Before that, I just wanna did you check out the SMCI earnings report and call? Because I mean the earnings report was just preliminary numbers. So
yeah. I definitely I read the transcript. Yeah, it was an interesting one. A lot of blaming from management is how I see it. Some blame might be true, some blame might be a little bit weird. But it was weird that, I mean, they reduced their guidance for this fiscal year, right, Neo, for fiscal year 2025 by about 5 billion on the top end, if I remember correctly, and 2.5 billion on the bottom end. Main reason is they blamed Nvidia for their Blackwell platform being delayed, maybe not completely delayed, but didn't go to full production during the timeline that they originally thought. I mean, I think that was a viable reason to decrease their guidance. Then they gave us a strong fiscal year 2026 guidance, which I think is just bullish for the AI market in general. They mentioned that their customers are becoming more spread out. You're getting kind of the sovereign AI in the other countries. You're seeing more enterprise players entering in the AI market as well. So I was reading more, Neil, in understanding the trend of the AI market and not really caring too much about super micro, if that makes sense. But they blamed a lot of things like margin hits and certain revenue hits to their 10K delays. And I saw you tweeted about that, which I thought was pretty wild.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, we discussed this. We said we just wanted to hear information with regards to Nvidia and the broader industry, and less about SMCI specifically, because at the end of the day, and I think we can both agree, if they do manage to file before the deadline, this thing will just jump and maybe even double, right? Because
Yep.
if they do achieve that $40 billion in fiscal 26 at a market cap of right now at $25 billion, I mean, of course, this thing will jump. But then again, the quarter was a complete miss. They missed on everything: revenue, EPS, margins, guidance for the year was reduced as well. So I know he said the $40 billion is conservative, but yeah, he also said that they would do $30 billion this year, and somehow that's not going to be achieved. It's not even going to get close, right? It's a $5 billion difference. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, it was a funny call, blaming the delays of a 10K, and that's why margins are down. I was like, what? How does that make any sense?
I mean, I guess the only way I was trying to spin it, I was trying to find a way is like, I guess some other customers either kind of, I don't know, we're scared to pay them too quickly or project. It just created some friction between them and with them and their customers. But I don't know if I would even blame that in the earnings call. I think I would just take that like a champ and not even use that as an excuse. Um, I'm just, I don't know why. I'm not a fan of management, but I agree, Neil, that if this stock does meet regulations, the stock is going to jump like no tomorrow. But I'm not here to gamble that money.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Um, Plus, I mean, if you would say that, yeah, because of the independent committee and all the money that you have to spend for the investigations and all of that, and that's why margins are coming down, I would say, okay, you know what, maybe that's true. But remember, the independent committee is just one person, right? It's just that one person that also happens to be on the board of SMCI. So lots of weird stuff happening there. But oh well, we'll see what happens.
So we got some pretty cool questions I want to jump into, Neil. We have here from the real missing link. Thank you, fellows. I listen to you both all the time. Appreciate it. Do you think chip makers, designers, manufacturers are unequipped to survive a long recession? Any of that you would stack in those cases? So, Neil, I'm going to say the semiconductor market has been very cyclical throughout the years. So I think the old school players know how to withstand a recession because they kind of go through their own recession every 4 to 5 years within whatever market they're in. So I mean, I think you can find players that are unequipped. But the ones that you're looking for, and if you're worried, are companies that have strong cash and low term debt. Those are going to be the best survivors during a recession. Also, those that probably have a lot of internal manufacturing because they can control their cost a lot more if they want to just reduce their production by a lot because you can't really reduce it too much with external customers because sometimes they don't allow it. You still have to meet some form of quota. But being able to shut off your own plant, unfortunately laying off some workers, you kind of have that power control if you do a lot of like your internal manufacturing. And that's kind of in the mature nodes. So the only one that I can think of right now that really wouldn't survive during a long-term recession, Neil, and this is just the one that comes up is Wolfspeed. Wolfspeed is one that has a lot and a lot of debt and not much cash in hand. So things like that are ones I really wouldn't be too too excited about. Um, I don't know if I can think of any other players right now, but if anybody has any comments, let us know. But Wolfspeed would be one that I would be very, very worried about if we kind of hit a really weird um, downturn in macroeconomics anytime soon.
You know, I agree. I think I mean, again, these cycles happened in the past, they'll happen in the future. It's just the financially strong companies will survive and will do well. And like you said, Wolfspeed, I don't think they're financially and even strategically that well positioned. So yeah, a downturn in the macro would not be a good thing for a company like that, and probably for some other smaller players as well. But the big ones, I doubt they'll. Okay, there will be like with Samsung and Intel right now, right? They're pushing back on certain investments and stuff like that. But all in all, they'll survive and they'll come out of that.
All right, Neil, I got another question here we can probably take. Um, I when are chips tariffs coming this week or next? Sorrento, I haven't really seen of a specific date. The only thing is tariffs, Neil, right? I do believe are going to create a lot of volatility in the market, but it's also important to understand, right, that if you see kind of some crazy, let's just say 100% tariffs on TSMC or some kind of product, it doesn't necessarily mean that the certain companies are going to be as bad. Because let's say, for example, Nvidia's H100 chips, the bill of material of the manufacturing process is such a small percentage of the overall margins and how much Nvidia is able to sell their overall products. And there's also a lot of other aspects that come into building that chip. So don't just correlate that number directly to, oh, means 100% bad for Nvidia, because I personally keep seeing comments that say, oh, look, 100% tariffs coming for TSMC is going to kill Nvidia's margins. I think 100% tariffs on TSMC, and if it kind of goes into Nvidia, would barely hit like a 1 or 2% margin hit overall if they don't price it out to their customers. I think theoretically they could price it out to their customers, but it's just to understand that I don't think it would be a big impact like many people are talking about. So it's more volatility, but I don't think it's that much more risk.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I think the whole tariff talk is also not in the interest of the United States to start putting so many tariffs on, especially TSMC, for example, because, well, without TSMC, there is no Nvidias and AMDs and Intel and all of that. Plus, TSM is also building in the United States, so it's probably a chip that it gets put on the table. Let's make a deal, etc., etc. So we'll see. As always with tariffs, with those headlines, it's always a lot of noise, which will create, of course, volatility. I do want to put this just for a second. Intel was trading at book value, made it my fifth biggest AI trade. Yeah, that's also one of the reasons why. So Intel when I think below 20 at $19, $18 or so, was trading at book value or even sometimes below it. So it going up just means that the market is like, actually, you know what, maybe you shouldn't have been trading so low for a while. And then you have some other things that are pushing it a little bit more on the upside. But yeah, it's true. When you're trading at book value or quite close to it, you're going to get a little bump in the stock price.
Definitely, Neil. So Neil, I know you mentioned earlier, you are now an AMD shareholder. So I think this goes really well with what Michael Sarma wants. Any thoughts on AMD? So curious, Neil, what made you switch into becoming a shareholder? Was it just the price action after earnings, or did you hear something during earnings, Neil, that really got you saying, okay, maybe now's the time that I should buy some?
So it's maybe a mix of a couple of things. First of all, as you can see, the stock is down quite a lot year on year. But I don't always want to just look, oh, look, the stock is down 50% or whatever since the highs, and that's a reason to buy. No, it should not have been that high to start with, right? AMD at $200, it didn't make much sense. And back then, it's very funny because back then AMD at $200, it was like, oh, AMD is the next Nvidia. And then AMD near $100 is AMD is the next Intel. It's funny how those things work. So to me, just I saw AMD, I saw their business. Well, we discussed their business quite a lot. The leadership is great. I'm like, you know what? All of this negativity, while the business is actually doing quite well, the price does not reflect what a future AMD could be. So I was like, okay, let's open a small position. Let's work our way back up, and then we'll see what happens. So the price was good, sentiment was bad, which is good for me. The business is, in my opinion, still doing quite well, and it's not reflected in the stock price just yet. So quite an easy pick, even though I have Intel and I also have Micron.
Yeah. So I want to say earnings actually changed my thesis for AMD after the most recent earnings. And earnings doesn't usually do that too often for me.
Hmm.
But and we've talked about it here before, Neil, where AMD, one thing that I've really enjoyed about them is they had that huge diversification um, in their PC market, in their server market, um, the embedded market, and the gaming market. Now, AMD mentioned that for fiscal year 2025, all those are going to grow. So I'm excited. They even mentioned modest growth in embedded and gaming. So those markets alone can be extremely beneficial for cash flow, for earnings per share, for revenue growth. But then what really, I always said that their AI accelerator business wasn't that biggest of an excitement for me. And that's because the MI300 was cool. Next, we were going to get the MI325, which was MI300 on steroids. And we weren't going to get the MI350 till December of this year. But because they're getting that good traction from customers, from net new hyperscalers, they're actually moving it up to mid this year. And now that has made me very, very bullish on the AI space for them. Again, I'm going to say this. No, this is not the next Nvidia. I personally don't see AMD hitting $1 trillion anytime soon. But I do see AMD outperforming the Qs, the SPY, the semiconductor market in the long term of things. And that's why I'm very, very bullish in this company, especially with the MI350 coming up earlier than expected.
Do you think it outperforms Nvidia from here? Let's say in the next 5 years.
Ah, man, I don't.
Hmm.
It all depends on how AI evolves, right? If AI continues to evolve at rapid levels, I think it's weird to say, but if AI, I mean, you hear those random numbers with Elon about AI robotics, and about and all these random numbers on like the market of autonomous robotics as well, of autonomous vehicles. So Nvidia is a big player in those space. So I can definitely see if those markets grow, Nvidia being a huge grower in the long term of things. If they take a lot longer than expected, then yes, then maybe AMD can outperform. So it all depends on the innovation of AI. Would be my moving variable, Neil.
Okay, no, fair enough. Because I know that there were some questions about Nvidia and their upcoming earnings report. We'll definitely do an episode before the earnings report, talk about the expectations and all of that. So yeah, but yeah, to answer the question here, what do you think about AMD and Tesla? Well, I own both of them, quite bullish on both of them. With Tesla, of course, you still have that Elon effect, so things can go up and down quite quickly. Whether he puts in a $90+ billion bid for OpenAI or not, stock will react negatively because that could mean that he will have to sell shares of Tesla. I don't really think anything will happen, but yeah.
Neil, I know Tesla has taken quite a hit from its all-time highs. Oh, I don't know if all-time highs, but 52-week high at least. Um, any thoughts on you in um like current prices right now? Are these, I know Tesla's already a big position for you, but are these values you're even anywhere interested in of the stock to like maybe add more, or is it just you think it could be more for patient investors and they could be better opportunities in the future?
Yeah, now for me right now, I mean, I did take some profits in the 400 area, a little bit more than that, a little bit less than that as well. Because after the presidential election, this thing basically doubled. The earnings report, if we're all being very honest, was not the greatest one, and yet the stock did go up. Um, so I took some profits. The rest is just there. Um, right now, I'm not adding. I'm just waiting because it's already a pretty big position. I see especially for this year, I see some better opportunities. Which is why I opened a position in AMD. Stock is beaten down so much. Valuation wise, makes sense. So there is that.
Hey, Neil, any way you can pull up TSMC? Has TSMC taken a kind of a hit with all this Intel drama?
No,
Last time I saw, I don't think much.
no,
And I think,
it's still up 2.2% this year, still up 17% in the last 6 months. So, I mean,
yeah,
when in
it hit
doubt,
from a
always
swap.
zoom out a little
Yeah,
bit. Yeah.
yeah. I guess it seems from yeah. I mean, I think at the end of the day, I mean, TSMC is going to be the dominant player here. I don't think that's. If I was a TSMC shareholder, which I'm not, I really wouldn't be too worried. This is one of those stocks that they have no real competition in the amount of volume right now, at least. So I see this just being like a long term player, right, Neil.
Yeah, I mean, it's to be honest, when I read the negative comments, oh, TSMC is going down, I was like, okay, maybe it's down 20% or so, and I haven't noticed, but no, it's still up 2.2% this year. Yeah, it's down 3.5 in the last couple of days, but I mean, when you're still up close to 60% and you're their size, I don't think there is anything to worry about.
Let's see. If I can ask a question, are you bullish for Nvidia earnings? Do you think they will address the DeepSeek thing? I think they will address the DeepSeek thing. I think we have enough data already, Neil, though, that we know that the DeepSeek thing is really not anything to worry about. If inference is and Nvidia, if you go to their newsroom, they I think almost on a daily basis, they've been sharing kind of like information about how inference is done in NVIDIA's products, or how DeepSeek is being even integrated already into some of, like if you want to use it locally, you can use NVIDIA's products for it. So they're already kind of pushing that, hey, look, we're fine with DeepSeek, right? And I think the whole market has already understand that there's no real change with this. Um, Google Minds Deep CEO a few days ago mentioned that it wasn't anything revolutionary. Obviously, some improvements, but nothing that should really change the AI space. And we see still heavy capex investments. So there's nothing. I don't think. I think there's going to be questions about it because sometimes analysts are a bit slow with it, Neo. But I think DeepSeek is no longer a real question, in my opinion, at least for now.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know why this is so big. This is from an Nvidia blog. I highly suggest to subscribe to their blogs. You just get super great information, and of course they touched on DeepSeek and all of that. So we've heard enough, I think, about DeepSeek in all of the conference calls where they talk about AI and data centers. So I won't be surprised if they address the DeepSeek situation. I know there was also a conference call with Micron 2 days ago. They did say that the margins are going to be a bit lower because of some unexpected thing that happened. So, which is why the stock did drop, I think, 3% yesterday or 2 days ago. They also touch a little bit about DeepSeek, and like we keep saying on here, I don't think it's going to destroy these types of businesses.
I got another question here, Neil, from Lang. Why on semi is so weak and fell so much, Jose? Great. Intel has support from bands. So on semi, I mean, we talked about it in my videos, Neil, before, where on semi is a company is focusing the automotive market, right? So the automotive market is completely weak, very, very weak. It has no real turnaround story at the moment. I mean, we hear it from all the big players, right? If you follow Tesla, right, Neil? I mean, I'm pretty sure Tesla saw weakness in vehicles, and this has been for a while now, right? There's not much growth happening in the automotive space. What I'm bullish about on semi, this is one of those stocks that I like buying during the down cycle. I don't know when that down cycle is going to turn around, but this is one of those companies that even during this massive down cycle, they've been able to remain free cash flow positive, um, which is great. They've been able to um, they're buying back shares with the free cash flow that they have right now. So they have plenty of cash compared to their debt. So very similar to the question above, it's like, are you a company that can survive the negative downturn of a market? And I think on semi is showing that it can. And once the automotive market picks back up, this can see a nice boom. Then you also have kind of the future robotics market. Data center needs more power solutions, and other types of mobilities as well. So there's a growth opportunity for on semi, but I believe this is going to continue to be dead money for a few quarters, and that's okay. I think this is like that accumulation phase, Neil, for if you want to be in the market, but understand that it's not going to go anywhere anytime soon.
Voila. Did you by the way check Vertiv? Because I think they reported this week, and the stock did take a hit. I think a small hit. Yeah. I don't know if you had the time to check that one out
No, I definitely did not check that one now. Did they report this morning or yesterday? I forget which day it
yesterday.
was. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yesterday. So
I'm
they did
still slacking.
beat, but apparently the guidance was the issue, as always. This was the theme
Yeah.
of this earnings season. It's a good quarter, guidance a bit weaker than expected.
Yeah. And I mean, I have to read it, but I mean, I feel like guidance from a power company is very iffy because I think there's so many moving parts with like things like regulations, um, and being able to set up something like a massive power solution for massive data sensors is no easy task. So I feel like this is one of those companies that's gonna have weird guidance. And I'm pretty sure they mentioned that during their earnings. It's more important to look at the overall bookings and backlog that they have and see how that's going on the basis.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. Let's see what we have here. Are you following Airbnb? Because I think their report later today.
No, but let's see what earning guys. Let us know in the chats what earnings you're following for today. I know we have Coinbase, we have Twilio, DraftKings for us gambling addicts,
Mm-hmm.
Applied Materials, Airbnb, Roku. So yeah, I mean, let us know any you guys follow. Are you following anything, Neil?
Well, I follow Airbnb. I follow I will definitely look at Applied Materials just to see what they're saying. Coinbase, I did follow in the past. Couldn't really care anymore right now. DraftKings is actually something that interests me because I do think that they will benefit from more and more states opening up towards gambling and licenses and all of that. It's another way of just collecting more taxes. So a win-win, I guess. And Roku, I used to own a long time ago, so I just follow it just to see how the business is doing. But I'll focus probably tonight on just Airbnb and Applied Materials.
Yeah, Neil, can you show me the Roku chart real quick? If you got, I haven't seen that chart in a while. Where's the stock at? Oh, it's 84. Okay.
Yeah, it did recover, in the last 6 months or so, but
Yeah.
still far away from that
Oh, wow.
$400 and
Yo,
$1,500 Cathy Wood price target.
2021 was wild, right? 2021, 2022 were crazy times.
Actually, it's crazy.
All right. But yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna follow anything, Neil, today. I think I'm just gonna be focusing on maybe stuff that I miss. I'm actually curious on the Stera Labs recently. They kind of took a dip after earnings. It's a kind of pricey company if you look at like price to sales ratio. But now with the recent pullback, I just want to give it the opportunity to look at it. I'm not saying I'm buying it, but at least it's like, hey, all right, now the market seems to be hating it. Let me take the time to do some research on it. As usually sometimes that creates a mix of opportunities. So maybe might be doing an Astera Labs video soon if anybody wants to watch that.
Yeah, I've seen it pop up actually on my feed um, yesterday. So yeah, could be an interesting one. Could be an interesting one. Another one that did report yesterday, and this is one of the better companies out there in the trade desk, but it's down 32.8%. So some might say that this is a shitco, but no, this was just a company that has performed extremely well for a long, long period of time, and well, one bad quarter and the stock gets hit 32.8%, but it was also extremely, extremely expensive of a stock to hold. Um, but yeah, this is basically what happens when you never miss and now you miss once and your stock is up already quite a lot. You get pulled down 32.9%, basically taking away months and months of gains.
I got this question here from Gores. Does 2 nanometer make any connection with the ASML's price increase? New machines. Has ASML seen a recent price jump, Neil? It seems like it might have. But
Um,
in theory, the biggest, I think, bullish factor for ASML recently has been TSMC's capex. A few weeks ago, right, Neil? They mentioned that they were going to increase their capex dramatically, which is good for ASML. But yes, the 2 nanometer machines, 2 nanometer nodes are good for ASML's new machines. They're high NA, which are expected to go for that 2 nanometer and below chip level. And they are already creating another version of that high NA. But I haven't really read the dates on release on that. But right now, um, the movements of 2 nanometers and below is definitely going to create a nice tailwind for ASML in the short term of things.
Yeah, and I mean short and long term, right? Because if you want to have even more
Oh, yes.
advanced tech, you will need their more advanced machines in the future, which are supposed to cost a little bit more than what they do today. I do want to show Ferrari real quick because Anton here is getting a little bit angry that we are ignoring him, but we are not. We're just going through the chat. Ferrari is indeed performing extremely well. It's already up 16.7% just this year. Man, I remember when this went public, I was like, wow, this is so cool. Ferrari is going public. Yeah, the idiot me back then did not buy any shares. But yeah,
What I think
tremendously.
is cool about Ferrari, Neil, is someone posted it on X, and it's like some crazy amount of their new cars sold are just people who are already customers. So it's like this company doesn't need to get new customers. Their old customers are the ones just rebuying the new things over and over again. So I think it was like 80%, 70 or 80%, something that high of their new cars sold were to old customers already. I think that's wild.
Yeah, no. I mean, the thing with Ferrari is they always make one car less than what the demand is. Plus, it's true, if you own a Ferrari, you are on the list, so you're allowed to buy the next one. It's like a super exclusive club. I think a couple of years ago, I went to a dealership. Don't ask me why. And I was like, wow, this yellow one right there was the Pista. I was like, wow, what's the waiting list on that one? It's like 3.5 years. I mean, like, 3.5 years. How much money do
I
I
got
really
time to
need?
save up then.
Yeah, I was like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can put me on the list. You never know.
Oh man, that is too loud. Um, Ferrari seems to be like the original NFT clubs where it's exclusive, because there's only so many, right?
Yeah, but at least they actually make stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I definitely would love one. Um, let's see, another question here from David. I'm just going down the list, Neil. What do you guys think of current CLAC prices? Does it look attractive for entering? I mean, I'm just gonna say, Neil, I think most of the semiconductor equipment space is attractive right now. It's hard to pick one because there's so many processes that happen in the manufacturing step that it's gonna be very hard to understand the whole step process, right? I mean, most people just think of lithography and think that's it, but there's so many more. So I'm bullish in the whole market. So I am bullish on things like Clack right now.
But we do prefer Lam Research and ASML.
Yes, yes. The good thing about Plague, Neo, one thing for those that are not familiar, it helps with like process management. So their goal is to make sure that yields continue to grow, which is very good, especially as now we're going to like 2 nanometers and below and hitting new type of I'm going to say manufacturing issues. The more
Hmm.
issues and the more innovation, the more room to grow in yield improvements. So Clack can definitely benefit from it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I want to answer this super chat real quick. First of all, thank you very much. What are your thoughts on XYZ? To be honest, when I first read this comment, I was like, XYZ? Is this like an example? Like you're put like quotation mark XYZ? But then I remember that Jack Dorsey is more focused on changing the names of his companies and his ticker symbols. So XYZ is now actually, well, previously Square,
No
now Block.
way.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
the
yeah.
heck? When did this happen?
A couple of weeks ago, I think. I mean, if you go on their website, it has been block.xyz for a long, long time, and now he basically changed the ticker symbol to XYZ because SQ for Square didn't make sense anymore for him, or he was bored. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. XYZ block. It's To be honest, all things considered, I'm not a shareholder anymore. I've been a shareholder in the past, but I just couldn't stand Jack Dorsey anymore. Like, you are a CEO of a publicly traded company. You should pay attention to returning value to shareholders, and that was not the case. Although last year, even though I disliked the guy, I did say that it did look very, very cheap, around the 60s, $50, and they also did start to return value to shareholders, started to be more profitable. And yeah, even at $82 right now, they're still growing quite rapidly. So yeah, I'll for sure cover that earnings call, I think, and earnings report. I think it's in a week or two, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, there. Thank God the CFO and the guys from Afterpay are paying attention.
Here at Lee Stevens' question, I recently started investing and 20 years old. Lee, I haven't seen the question yet, but feel free to let us know what your question is. Neil, before we move into other questions, did you see the teaser of Apple was releasing something new? Is
Yes,
anybody excited about that?
it's basically an iPhone SE with maybe a better camera and maybe another color. That's what you will get. That's what you're getting.
That's what we're getting. No point in imagining if it's no point in expecting something crazy from Apple.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to expect. Yeah, I mean, it's even Apple CEO Tim Cook teases launch of iPhone SE. So
Oh, that's what it is. Oh, okay.
maybe, I don't know. Maybe he does come out with, I don't know, augmented reality glasses, and it actually isn't going to cost you a kidney or something. So we'll see.
Let's see what other questions we have here. Let's see.
Yeah, my Alibaba shares have been doing quite well more recently. Finally, my Chinese trade are working out. So yeah, with Apple and Alibaba, it's basically just an AI partnership, I think. Yeah, still working with Baidu for AI features, despite Alibaba partnership. So I guess Apple Intelligent is not allowed in China directly, I would say.
Yeah, Neil, sorry, keep finding things. I'm just looking for any questions we might have missed.
I think there was a question with regards to Reddit, because they reported yesterday and they're down. The dip has been bought a little bit. They're down 7.56%. I mean, the stock has done extremely well over the last year. It was $46 when it went public, a bit less than that actually. It's now at $200. So I think they did quite well. But yeah, all in all, I don't really like the platform that much. You could find some good information, but
Oh, I use Reddit all the time, man. Reddit is the best for information, but you just got to Google Reddit first.
yeah, and then you don't have to get banned. You shouldn't. You have to avoid getting banned.
Neil, any thoughts on Archer? Jonathan here is the next Palantir.
No, I don't think it's the next. I mean, there's no correlation between Palantir and an Archer Aviation. I think he means the next Palantir because the stock is expected to go up quite a lot, but it's already up 165%.
This was another COVID stock too.
This one,
right?
Yeah, this one. Well, was it a SPAC or not?
Yeah, I think I don't know, but I know it was very popular during that time.
Yeah. I mean, it went up a lot also after the election, right? Because of the eVTOL movement and all of that, more approvals. So Archer and Joby went up, but is it the next panel? No, I don't think you can compare it. Plus they still have to prove a lot, right? They still have to prove a lot with regards to financials and products and all of that.
Leo, I don't know if you heard, but like in late December and early and late November, here in Jersey, we were seeing drones all over. I wonder if it was these Archers just flying all over.
Yeah. But no, it's funny because since then, a lot of companies, the drone makers, Ondas Holdings, and I think where are these guys, Red Cat. I mean, look at what happened since the election. These things just went parabolic. Like all of these smaller ones, up 200%, 300%, 500%. That's pretty nuts.
Neil, all right. So we got a question here from Lee Stevens. I'm new investor, almost a year in. What's your advice to building portfolio in 2025? Um, Also, comments below. I know there's a lot of people here with who have a lot of experience in investing. What are some of your thoughts and advice for someone starting off? We also had one from Linux. As an 18-year-old, being my first year of investing, is there any singular thing anyone in the comments would recommend? Mm, I mean, first thing, is always put money in the market no matter what, especially when things look ugly. I think somehow our minds get scared when things go really red. Um, we shouldn't put money in the market anymore. And I feel like that's where most of my gains have really come in. In the down market that we were in after kind of like those COVID gains is where I invested heavily. And I think that's where most of my gains have come. And now it's my era of just putting money investing here and there, but waiting for that next opportunity in the future. So patience and putting money every and whenever you can are probably my biggest comments to building a portfolio.
Yeah, no, I think that's true. Also, don't put money that you think you might need in the next couple of months, because that can completely destroy your performance, right? You're putting money right now because you think, oh, I don't need that $100 or $1,000 today, so I invest in this company, and then 3 months later you have, I don't know, something, have a leak, eh, something that will cost you money. If you have to pull that out of your portfolio, you're already doing something wrong. You should only invest money that you don't need in the short run. And yeah, patience, red days, all of the drama, everything else is usually a good time to start accumulating even more. Um, do your own research, read books. I have in my community tab on YouTube a huge list of books about investing, about CEOs, and all of that. If anybody wants to go and check that out or is interested in books, I think the list there is a good starting point. Um, and yeah, just because people say that things are great or things are bad does not really mean that they know what they're saying. And we are YouTubers, we know that sometimes we say things and then it doesn't happen, or then it does happen, and then either we are looking like fools or extreme geniuses. So yeah, don't forget, at the end of the day, it's your money that you're investing, not ours.
Yeah, and remember, not everything is. There's no guarantee win in the market. Nothing, right? Everything. What I think every you have to find your own investment way. And I want to say, no matter how many comments and books you read, a lot of the stuff you're gonna go through experience. Um, I could tell you, when I started investing, how many times I've read a book, don't go for like the penny stocks or for the next big thing. And no matter how many times I read it, the only time I really, really learned my lesson was when I experienced it. And luckily, when you're starting off at 18, you might think you have a lot of money, and you might compared to where you've been in the past. But if you're bullish on yourself, whatever you're making in 18, you're going to be making more money at 22. You're going to be making more money at 25. You're going to be making a lot more money at 30. So make those mistakes at 18 when they still hurt you, because to you it's a lot of money. But when you're 30, don't worry, you're going to be happy you made those mistakes, because the amount of money you're putting in the market during that time is going to be bags compared to what you were putting at 18.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. Make the mistakes early on, even if it costs you money. It's basically paying for a lesson. You have to look at it that way. I would also like to add that, and this is from my personal experience, let your winners run. I had multiple winners previously. Of course, I evolve as an investor. Today, I will probably not make the same mistake. But if the company is still trading at a decent price, even if it's up 100, 200, 300%, the business is doing well, the stock isn't that expensive, there is no reason why you should sell. Maybe you want to take profits, that's fine. Nobody got poor by taking profits. Um, but I'll say something that happened in the last year or so. I managed to discover Robinhood under $10. Didn't make any sense. Made a couple of live streams with 5 viewers. It was basically trading at close to cash, was growing. I was like, you know what? The disconnected here. Let's buy it. Okay, it doubled pretty quickly. And then I took my gains. Because in my head, it was a trade, it doubled, and I'm fine. It's to that $60. So I could have even made even more. So when you go into a company, do make sure that you know that either it's a trade or a long-term position. If it's a long-term position, then even if it's up 200%, 300% a short period of time, don't make that mistake of selling your winners too early.
Yep. Thanks, Neil. And thanks to the chat. There's a lot of other ones that gave us LT, for example, do your research as well. It really helps ease your mind. Put it in, observe and learn, keep track of things, have some Excel, how quarterly meetings, review stuff. So it's definitely a learning thing. And welcome to the community. You're gonna one day, maybe right now, you're gonna like us. A few weeks, a month from now, you're gonna hate us. 2 years from now, you're gonna come back and say, maybe they're okay. So that's how it is in this investing community for sure.
Yeah, during you remember the times in 2022 bear markets, barely any views. Every comment was a negative one, but no, eventually I think 23, 24 worked out quite well. People are way happier during bull markets, but that's also important. You make your money in bear markets. The results you're going to see during bull markets, but in bear markets, that's usually when a good investor starts to put a lot of money to work. I do have to touch on this super chat by DNB. Thank you very much. Any thoughts on Skywater technology stock? Did you hear about Skywalker? It's like a Star Wars guy.
Not a Star Wars guy, the Star Wars guy. Okay, Neil, put some respect in Star Wars, please.
Isn't the Star Wars guy Jabba the Hutt?
Yeah. No, I don't know this stock, Neil. Definitely don't.
No, I don't even know what they're doing. So it's a pure play technology foundry that engages in the provision of semiconductor development, manufacturing, packaging services. So okay.
Like I said, the semiconductor equipment is such a unique space where there's so many aspects to it. Anybody who knows every semiconductor equipment player is a genius, in my opinion. But no, I don't. I personally, Neil, I don't follow this one.
No, me neither. But yeah, this might be
what did they?
flying.
What does it say? It does.
So Skywater Technology, together with its subsidiaries, operates as a pure-play technology foundry that engages in the provision of a semiconductor development, manufacturing, and packaging services in the United States. They offer engineering and process development support services to co-create technologies with customers and semiconductor manufacturing services for various silicon-based analog and mixed signal, microelectromechanical systems, etc., etc., etc.
I mean, maybe want to look into. I mean, I don't. Again, I think the whole semiconductor equipment space, Neil, as a whole, is in a nice uptrend. Small companies, if they can get a nice amount of revenue during these upcoming turns, can definitely benefit dramatically. What is the market cap of this? It has only 700 employees, so it's probably less than 5 billion, probably less than 2, less than half.
Much less. Yeah, half 441 million.
Yeah.
Well, interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a very down cycle in the semiconductor equipment space. But yeah, I mean, I would just say, even though I'm bullish in the semiconductor equipment market, I wouldn't go all in with my whole portfolio. This is always going to be a cyclical space. And the hard thing with semiconductor equipment space is figuring out if we need to sell. And hopefully we get that right in the future.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, we forgot to talk about.
I have this question, Neil. Sorry. Man, Uber's been killing it. But first, let me get this one, Neil. Jose, I've been seeing some FSD V13 videos, and it looks like Elon has solved self-driving. Do you know about any guidance when Tesla owners will receive FSD 13? I think in it, let me just check really quick on my app, and I should have done it, but I'm pretty sure it's already available to us. I think I just downloaded the update. Yeah, so we already have V13.2.7. So it's out. I mean, I don't think it's soft completely, but every generation just gets better. I mean, I think 13 in general has been the one I've done the least amount of interaction or whatever it's called, interference. I forget interaction.
Interventions.
Interventions. Thank you, Neil. But yeah, I mean, 13 has been great. But will I close my eyes if I could and sleep in the car while it's driving? I still think the answer for me is no. Will I have one eye open? I think one eye open is where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I mean, you have to experience FSD to basically know if it's there or not. I've seen plenty of videos. Like I said in the past, I've been in one drive. It's impressive, but then you will always find videos where it's still not solved. When will it be solved fully? I don't know. if he says this year, you usually add a couple of extra months just to be sure. Just to be sure.
But you know what I think is so weird is like we would get into an Uber with someone we never know. We don't know how they drive, and we could probably sleep in the back of the car and not really care about it. But the moment we get into a system that should work nearly the same all the time, it becomes like a weird moment to us.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably why reviews are quite important, right? If the Uber driver had 1 star, I don't think I will get into the car. If he has like 5 stars and the comments are fine, and then I don't think I'll sleep in an Uber car anytime soon, because you never know. But yeah, it's quite funny. But yeah, Uber has been doing quite well this year, huh? Up 31% already.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's great. I'm sad I haven't done a video in my channel, but I'm happy we've talked about this during live streams when we started early before people say, oh, you didn't get into Uber. But yeah, super. I mean, it's weird. It dropped after earnings. Then you kind of got that great reaction after earnings. Then you had some wild investors buy massive amount of Ubers. So I'm just excited for this company and their earnings. They mentioned the things that we kind of discussed, Neil, that AI was going to help their efficiencies. It's not just all about autonomous robotics. It's how can AI also improve your core products, improve your bottom line number and your top line number.
Yeah, no, they touched a little bit about on the AV opportunity and all of that. So yeah, the reaction after the earnings report didn't make much sense. Didn't take a long time until the stock recovered. Plus, then we've got the Bill Ackman effect. But if I'm being honest, I don't really need Bill to tell me if my investment is a good one, because I went into Uber before Bill went into Uber. So maybe the couch effect did not help as much. But I think we'll get there. We'll get there.
Let's see. We only got like 2 more minutes, Neil. I got this question from Enid from the long run. Wanted to ask you about AMD. Why is the CT Systems acquisition so essential to AMD's growth? And when will we see it in the bottom line? Thanks for your expertise opinion. In it for the long run, the recent CT system is crucial for AMD. Is now building a chip is no longer a crazy thing. Now what you need to be able to do is be able to build a whole system in general. Think, for example, Nvidia. They built the NVL72. They build massive data centers pretty quickly. The only reason they can do that is because they're really good at system integration. If that is somehow integrating all this hardware, including the chips, into a final platform. That's what AMD wants to do with CT Systems. Right now, they just have the chip, right? But they need to go beyond that into building a full system integration. The acquisition, I don't think is complete yet. It's going through the right directions, but it's still not complete. And I don't think we will really see any results until maybe early 2026. And that's early, I would say. I don't think we'll expect anything in 2025. The thing is, AMD did mention that while the acquisition isn't done yet, they've already signed like clauses and plans that these teams are already working well with each other.
Yeah, no, I agree. I checked it before the stream to see what's going on. There was previously some reports that maybe EU regulators might have an issue with that, but it does seem like things are on track to be completed pretty soon. And yeah, like you said, it's about providing the full scale solutions, and this is something that AMD did not provide previously. Provide great chips and all of that, but like with Nvidia, you need to provide all of it, the full suite. You need to be able to come to the customers and provide it all, build it efficiently and at a good price. And I think that's how that acquisition will definitely help AMD. But like you said, it's something that we're going to see only in 2026.
Yeah, Neil, I think we're gonna hop out. I don't know if you want to have any closing questions or just say, I don't know.
Let's see if we've got something. There are a couple of questions. I think Evolution AB, I've covered earlier. It's a European gaming company. So ever asking about that, I did cover. I think I covered it a couple of weeks ago. So maybe they check that. Very, very interesting company. Super, super cheap and growing quite quickly. But you need to like the gaming aspect of things. So yeah. All in all, still earnings season, still some volatility expected. We shall be back on Tuesday.
Yep.
With more information and more topics. Probably. I mean, over the weekends, every time of the weekend, some more information comes out. I don't know why they can't leave us alone, but we'll cover all of it next Tuesday and Thursday, as always. Thank you all for joining.
Yep. All right. Peace out, guys. Appreciate the support. Neo, thanks for everything, man. And I appreciate you letting me take the day off on Tuesday.
Yeah, but don't forget, you'll have to make it up next time. Right? All right. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. Catch you later.